There's something your golden does that you've probably noticed but never really thought about. In a room full of people who all love them, all feed them, all fuss over them, they pick one person, not as a favorite in the casual sense, as an anchor, the one they walk towards when things feel off, the one they look for in a crowded room. If you're watching this and quietly smiling, there's a good chance that person is you. And it turns out that's not random. It's not because you feed them. It's not even because you spend the most time with them. The reason your golden chose you is something science has been studying for years. And the answer is a bit weirder and a lot more specific than most people realize. So let's get into it. The first thing to understand is that your golden didn't just bond with humans in general. They bonded with you specifically. There's a difference, and it matters. To see why, you have to zoom out, way out. Dogs and humans have been living alongside each other for somewhere between 15,000 and 40,000 years. That's longer than farming, longer than writing, longer than basically every human institution you can name. For all of that time, dogs weren't just hanging around us. They were watching us, reading us, slowly developing a kind of social wiring that's pointed not at other dogs, but at people. What came out the other end of that isn't really a tame wolf. It's something new. A creature whose whole emotional intelligence is built around bonding with one specific human. Which brings us to the science. In 2013, a researcher named Lisa Horn at the University of Vienna ran a study that borrowed an idea from human child psychology, something called the secure base effect. The idea is simple. A child with a strong attachment to a parent will explore the world confidently when that parent is around, and shut down a bit when they're not. Horn wanted to know if dogs did the same thing with their chosen person. They do, almost identically. When their person is in the room, dogs explore. They take small risks. They engage with new things. When that same person is gone, even in a familiar place, the dog's behavior changes. They become less curious, less willing to engage, more cautious about everything. So your golden isn't just enjoying your company. They're using you as the foundation they experience the rest of the world from. You're not a favorite person. You're basically a home that walks around. But here's the question. Out of everyone your golden has met, why you? Most people assume it's about food, or time, or being the one who brought them home. The research says it's something more specific than that. A 2012 study from a team led by Mongillo found that dogs are surprisingly tuned in to the quality of human attention, not just the amount. They're not counting hours. They're reading the texture of the interaction, the warmth in your voice, how consistently you respond, how you look at them, how you touch them. In other words, your golden has been quietly grading everyone in your house on emotional reliability. And the person who ends up chosen is almost always the one whose attention is the most consistent and the most attuned. Not the one who gives the most commands, not the one who hands out the most treats. The one who notices when the dog is uneasy before anyone else does. The one whose mood the dog has learned to read. So your golden chose you because you were paying attention, and because somewhere underneath all the wagging, they figured out you were going to keep paying attention. There's one more piece, and it's the strangest one. In 2015, a team led by Nagasawa published a study in Science that looked at what happens when dogs and their chosen humans simply look at each other. Not commands, not treats, just eye contact. They found that mutual gazing between a dog and their person triggers a release of oxytocin in both of them at the same time. Oxytocin is the same chemical that gets released between a mother and a baby, between close friends, between people in love. The fact that the same loop fires between you and your golden when you make eye contact is not romantic exaggeration. It's a measurable neurochemical bond, the same one humans use for our deepest connections. For goldens specifically, this runs even deeper. They were bred for generations to work in close emotional partnership with humans, to read subtle cues, to respond to unspoken needs, to stay tuned to one person without being told. Research on breed-level social cognition consistently puts retrievers near the top for human-directed attention. That warmth you feel coming off your golden when they look at you isn't your imagination. It's the result of generations of breeding for exactly that. So here's where you end up. When your golden crosses a room full of people and quietly comes to sit next to you, you're not watching a dog pick a favorite. You're watching the result of thousands of years of evolution, months of careful emotional observation, and a decision made somewhere deep in their brain, probably before language even existed, that you are the one. Your golden chose you, and every day, without making a fuss about it, they keep choosing you again.